Greetings. A great word in the name of the Creator, the number one, the only one, the owner of the world. My name is Nuruddin Tijani. This is the Ministry of Truth, the Return of Light. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about the Noah's Ark. Okay, the Noah's Ark as an aqua-celestial craft. There is a proof in the Quran that the Ark of Noah was actually an aqua-celestial craft. So what do I mean by aqua-celestial? Aqua-celestial is a type of craft that can actually go underwater or sail above water, and at the same time can actually fly as an aircraft. There is such technology. The Almighty God has the power to do such things, and I believe what we've been experiencing in the world today, hearing about the unidentified objects flying from out of the seas, out of the oceans, and entering back into the ocean. These are examples of aqua-celestial crafts. Okay, so and that's exactly what kind of craft Noah's Ark was. So in this video, I'm going to be proving to the world, to everybody who might come across this video, that Noah's Ark was actually an aqua-celestial craft that actually was used to save the people with him, and and his family. They were saved with in this craft. Okay, so now let's get into it. First of all, let's go into Quran 55, verse 24. I'm going to take us one step at a time to get to the point where the Almighty God actually says he saved Noah and the people with him, Noah's family and the people with them, in an ark, in a craft. Okay, so we'll get to that in a moment, but let's start with this verse just to understand what the Almighty God is capable of. So it says in chapter 55, verse 24, it says, وَلَوْ لِجَوَارِ لَمُنْشَآتُ فِي الْبَحْرِ كَالْأَعْلَامِ. It says, His are the high-sailed vessels in deep ocean like the mountains. So it's talking about, if you want to understand the context of this verse, you may take a look at chapter 55 and read it from the beginning. It's actually talking about, describing the power of the Almighty God, His Majesty, and it talks about that to God belongs high-sailed vessels in deep ocean like the mountains. Another translation says, to him only belong the sailing ships raised above the seas like hills. So this means that the Almighty God has his own ships. Can you imagine what the Almighty God's ships are going to be like? Imagine okay, let me give an example. Imagine a cruise ship created by humans in the world today. See how majestic these things are? Now imagine the shapes of the Almighty Creator, who has the power to do anything and create anything he wishes, the best designer. Can you imagine the shapes of the Almighty on the seas? He described them as floating as like mountains in the seas. Okay, how many of those do the Almighty have? Can you imagine how majestic, how beautiful, how undescribable those shapes will be? And what kinds of shapes are they? Now, if you talk about shapes, are they only sailing shapes or also space shapes? Some people believe that the idea of spacecraft is devilish, is demonic. This is totally wrong. The Almighty God says here, to him belong shapes that sails in the sea and they look like mountains because they're so huge. Can you imagine being on one of those ships? May the Almighty God let us experience his majestic ships and see them and experience them, maybe even take a ride on them. He's so powerful, he can do many things and do as he wishes. So that's the proof that the Almighty God has shapes. It's not unreligious to imagine that the Almighty God has shapes. This is a clear proof that the Almighty God has his own shapes. So it's not demonic to imagine the Almighty God having a spacecraft or shapes in the seas. Where they are, we don't know. When it's time for them to come, I believe there may be a time that they will show up and they will, be in the world to save people. The Almighty God knows best. Now let's continue. Now, the next verse I would like to show is in Quran chapter 21, verse 33. It says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. It says, and he is the one who created the day and the night, the sun and the moon, each traveling in an orbit. So here's an important word that I want us to pay attention to. So it uses the word falak, fi falakin yasbahun. The word falak means the orbits, okay? Orbiting object, okay? In an orbit or in a craft that orbits. So the word falak, it's not a verb, okay? It's an object, it's a noun. Fi falakin, it's a noun. It shows that it's an object, which means, for example, the moon is an object, the sun is an object. It's referring to an object, and they're more also that they're like craft. The moon and the sun are also like crafts in the sky, orbiting in the sky. So now let's remember the word falak. It will help us to know that it will help us understand the truth behind the craft that the Almighty God saved Noah and his family with. Now let's go to the next verse, which is the evidence. Now let me zoom in a little bit. So here it says, فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ فِي الْفُلْكِ وَأَغْرَقْنَا الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا آمِينَ. Now it says here, and but they denied him, so we saved him and those who were with him in the shape. So the word shape here in Arabic is actually also fulak. The same word used in the previous verse that we just read to talk about the orbiting object. The same word used also in this verse here in chapter 21 verse 33. Excuse me, chapter 7 verse 64. Okay, it says here, but then they denied him and we saved him and those who were with him in the ship. So the shape here is a fulak, is an orbiting shape, which means it's a space shape, which I believe is also aquatic, which is also like a submarine, or is a normal shape that can actually sail, above the water. Okay, so because they descended after a point, if you read more of the verses, one of the verse that talks about the after the flood that they descended, it's actually referring to the fact that it's elevated and then descended. Okay, so I may have to just probably make another video to bring out more verses where it actually talks about how they landed at a particular place called Judea. There's a verse that it talked about the craft landing at Judea. Okay, so this is a proof. Okay, so I'd like to use this opportunity to encourage my Christian brothers and sisters to look into the Quran and learn more about the world and understand and help and learn more about even the to and receive more evidence and confirmation from what they have learned in the Bible, because these two books are very, very important for us to understand the past, the present, and to know and what to expect in the future, because they actually these two books actually they what's the word, they confirm each other. I would say that they confirm each other. So I would encourage Christian brothers and sisters to read the Quran also and learn from it. And also the same thing goes to your Muslim brothers and sisters to read the Bible and learn from it. So that's it. The Ark of Noah, the Noah's Ark is actually an aquatic, aqua-celestial craft. Okay, it's a craft that actually could elevate, could levitate and fly, and at the same time could actually, float on the water or go underwater if necessary, like a submarine. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. If this is your first time coming across this channel, consider subscribing. And if you're a returning viewer, you're welcome back. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your presence. I'll see you in the next video. Salua.